It is already that time again. Week 5 predictions. And I just want to say, last week was a little weird. We had a tie. Did not know what to do with that. I just counted it as a tie, but for next season, I'll probably just do what ESPN does and just not count it at all as a game. But we do have teams on a bye week this week. We have the Green Bay Packers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Chicago Bears, and the Atlanta Falcons all on a bye week. So, 14 games. It'll be a little bit easier for me to get videos out. Thank God. But anyway, let's get into this. Rams and 49ers is first, and honestly, this game is going to be a very fun one from what I feel like. The 49ers, they lost last week 26 to 21, and the Rams, I believe, let me just make sure. They I think won, but I just don't know the score off the top of my head. It was 27 to 20 against the Colts. So, the Rams, they finally take down Indiana Jones. The 49ers, they had a loss, but it was still pretty close. Who do I feel like will win this game? Probably the Rams. I know they have a very good team right now. Puka Nakua. I saw a crazy stat. I think like half of the games that he's been in has over like 100 yards in receiving, and with how he hasn't been in the NFL for that long, that's pretty crazy. And honestly, I feel like he might just have another 100 plus yard game. So, yeah, definitely gonna have to go with the Rams here on the win. The Vikings and the Browns was next, and I do believe this is another international game, this time being in London, if I am not mistaken. I will make sure of that. But, we got the Vikings and the Browns. The Browns obviously lost pretty bad last week against the Lions, and the Vikings only lost by 3 against the Steelers when they were in Dublin. And now they will go in and face the Browns, and I do feel like the Vikings will actually get the win here. I am on the fence though about the Browns defense. They didn't look good last week against the Lions, but looked good the week prior against the Packers. So we're probably just going to see how this NFC North team goes up against this AFC North team, because it does seem like it's a little bit in the middle of the pack right now for the Vikings. It's either they're gonna have a good game against the Browns or they're gonna have a bad game. It just all depends on how this Browns defense plays. Cowboys and Jets were next. Cowboys, they tied with the Packers last week, and the Jets, they lost to the Dolphins. So I have no faith in the Jets right now to get this win. So I'm obviously going with the Dallas Cowboys. For some reason, they actually look better without CeeDee Lamb right now, which is very crazy. They they had a very hard fought game against the Packers, and honestly, I feel like the Cowboys still have a chance at doing something, and I'm very happy for Cowboys fans right now because at first you guys, I know you guys didn't really like the Micah Parsons thing at all, but now it kind of does seem like you guys were a little bit justified in that action, and I gotta give credit. I gotta give credit to you guys. I can't even speak at this point, but like I said, I gotta give credit to you guys. You guys knew. I didn't, and now we're starting to see why you guys got rid of them. Giants and Saints was next. The Giants, they got their first win of the season last week, and for the Saints, not looking too good. Not looking too good as they lost. I think it was to. Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, you lost to the Bills. And honestly, as of right now, I have no faith in the Saints. So I'm going with the Giants with the win here. Jackson Dart, I believe in you guys right now. And honestly, after what happened with Malik Neighbors, yeah, I know he's going to be out for the rest of the season. That really sucks and everything. But I do feel like you guys should be able to get the win here. And sorry about the shaking, I am holding my phone in a weird position. Raiders and Colts was next. The Raiders, they had a pretty decent game, but ultimately lost last week. And the Colts, they had a pretty good game, but lost to the Rams. And honestly, if I'm going to pick who's going to win here, I feel like it would be the Colts at home. I do feel like they would just be the better team here. And yeah, I I just really like this Colts team right now. Even though they did lose last week, they still held their own. And the Raiders side of things, they're looking pretty good too, but I just don't think they're going to win out in Indianapolis. Then we had the Dolphins and the Panthers. Panthers losing last week pretty bad to the New England Patriots, and the Dolphins getting their first win of the season against the Jets. Obviously, Tyreek Hill out for the whole entire season, as today we found out he has torn a lot of ligaments in his leg, including his ACL. And honestly, that just sucks, and I really do hope he gets better as soon as possible. But I do have no faith in the Panthers right now, and I am still gonna pick the Dolphins to win here, just because I do feel like they still have a better team, even without Tyreek Hill. Broncos and Eagles is next. Broncos, they got a win finally again, as they won 20-3 against the Bengals, and the Eagles, they won against the Buccaneers 33-27 last week in a pretty good game. And they also did not let the Buccaneers get a comeback, which they have had the last 3 weeks beforehand. And honestly, not too sure how this game is going to go. If the Broncos defense plays like how they did last week, I feel like they would have a better chance to win. But as of right now, I am going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles just because I do feel like they are a better team. But like I said, if the Broncos can play like how they did last week, they might have a better chance to win. And also, J.K. Dobbins, definitely one of their best running backs that they had in a while. Ravens and Texans was next. And honestly, not too sure how this game's going to go. Both teams are 1-3, but one of them just got their first win. Yeah, the Texans, they just got their first win against the Titans last week, winning 26-0. Obviously, that Titans team is not good right now. And the Ravens, they're not looking too great either, as they lost to Patrick Mahomes 37-20. And I feel like the Ravens will still get the win here, but I do feel like this is going to be a very, very close game. Um, just not too sure what's happening with the Texans as of right now, but they did have a pretty good showing last week. So if they're able to have a pretty good showing this week, should be a close game. Titans and Cardinals is next. And honestly, I'm just going to flat out say it. Cardinals will most likely get the win here. I do not have any faith in the Titans at all, as they dropped an egg on the Texans as they had 0 points. And the Cardinals, they at least had a pretty close game with the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. So I'm going with the Cardinals here for the win. And I'm just very sorry, Titans fans, at this point. And I'm sorry, RBT. Next, we have the Buccaneers and the Seahawks. And by the way, sorry if the audio changed. My microphone died, so now I have to use my regular phone microphone. But, Buccaneers, they lost in a pretty close game. And the Seahawks, they won in a pretty close game. If I was to pick who would win here, I would probably say the Buccaneers, just because I feel like they would have probably another comeback win. I know they had 3 of them already in the first 3 weeks and had a pretty nice comeback last week, but ultimately lost. So I do feel like the Buccaneers will probably get away with this one. Lions versus Bengals. I don't really have much to say about this one. Lions will most likely get the win here. The Bengals, they have looked like absolute dog shit ever since Joe Burrow got injured. And honestly, I don't know if that team is really going to do well until he comes back. And we really seen it with how their offense has only put up, I think, like 13 points in the last 2 games. So, yeah, not looking too good for the Bengals. But Lions fans, the Lions are looking like how they did. And I have you guys winning here. Commanders and Chargers. This one was actually a very hard game for me to pick. But I am going to have to go with the Chargers here. Chargers with home field advantage. That's pretty scary to think about. And Commanders, I'm not too sure if Jaden Daniels will be back for this week. I know as of recording, there hasn't been any update about him. I know he was out for the last game, so as of right now, I guess we're just waiting to see what happens with Jaden Daniels. But for right now, I do have the Chargers winning. Patriots and Bills! Oh boy, I am very excited for this game. Obviously, the Bills do have home field advantage, so the Patriots are going to have a very, very hard time. Hopefully our defense plays really well, like how they did last week. I know we played up against the Panthers, but the Panthers, they looked really good 2 weeks ago, and we obviously found out that it was only the Falcons that just did not have a good game there. But even though I know the Patriots will most likely not get the win here, I'm still going to pick the Patriots just because I am a loyal fan. And also, I don't really care if this pick goes to waste just because I am a loyal fan and I will always pick my team. Last but not least is the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Obviously, the Chiefs will most likely win this game. Not too sure if it will be a close one or not, though. I thought the Ravens and Chiefs game was going to be close, but it wasn't. And the Jaguars, they beat the 49ers by only 5 points. So this game might just be a dog walk for the Chiefs, but I do have the Chiefs winning here for this game. And it seems like that's it for all the games. For my little recap, I do have the Rams over the 49ers, the Vikings over the Browns, the Cowboys over the Jets, the Giants over the Saints, the Colts over the Raiders, the Dolphins over the Panthers, the Eagles over the Broncos, the Ravens over the Texans, the Cardinals over the Titans, the Buccaneers over the Seahawks, the Lions over the Bengals, the Chargers over the Commanders, the Patriots over the Bills, and the Chiefs over the Jaguars. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, do really whatever you want to do. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. See you around.